Something else that I want to encourage you to do on this day when there's not a ton of other work that I'm giving you, I want you to go back to April 14th when you submitted this exercise on symmetry. Students had a lot of trouble. I noticed when I was flipping through them, and I don't grade them, problem by problem. I basically look for completion. And there were a lot of struggles. I think there were very few of you that actually did well on this. And you need this information for POW number 9. Okay, so before you start working on POW number 9, you want to get a better handle on symmetry, both line symmetry, rotational symmetry, and point symmetry. So notice I labeled everything with PT and circled it if it has point symmetry. So here's some things that I want you to notice. We can, and we see it a lot, okay? We can have rotational without line. All right, here I have 4 rotational symmetries. Let's see where else I see it. Right here, we have 3 rotational symmetries, right? But notice if I try to put a line here through the center, right, this half doesn't match up. Okay, so it has no line of symmetry, but it does have 3 rotationals. Here's a couple more places where we have rotational without line. Where's a place that we have 2 rotationals without line? Right here, right? This one would only have 180 and 360. This is sort of like the letter S, right? And then here's one that we actually have 10 rotational symmetries, right? Because every 10th of the way, this figure would look the same again if I rotated it 1/10 of a complete rotation, since there's 10 of these little identical squiggles. Here is one more with, we see this a lot in this handout, the 90, 180, 270, and 360 rotational, the quarters. Okay, but as we can see, it doesn't have to be quarters. It can be 2 rotational symmetries. Here's one with 3 rotational symmetries. Here's one with 10. This is also one with 6 rotational symmetries. Because of the way that these things go, right, then there aren't lines of symmetry that we can draw in. All right, because in other cases where we have 6 rotational symmetries, we also have 6 lines of symmetry, right? I could put a line of symmetry through each vertex, 4, 5, and 6, like that, okay? So notice if I have line symmetry and rotational symmetry, then the number of lines of symmetry has to equal the number of rotational symmetries. All right, so notice that on all of the examples that I did not circle. Okay, every example that I did not circle has wait, how do I summarize what I did not circle? Actually, no, I'm lying. Some of them don't have a line of symmetry. So notice every figure that has no line of symmetry, let me circle those in purple, right? No line of symmetry, no line of symmetry, right? They'd only have 360-degree rotational symmetry, right? Here's another one with no line of symmetry. But then what we also see is that figures that have 1 line of symmetry have only 360 degrees of rotational. Let's see, this one should be circled green. This one should have been circled purple. I probably won't try to circle every single one on the page that fits that category, although I think I actually might have it. Here's a couple with 1 line of symmetry. So let's see, those are green. So these 2 right here and these. But the rule was that as soon as we have 2 or more lines of symmetry, we have to have the same number of rotational symmetries. Actually, here's another one that should be circled. That one should be circled in red, right? Because it has rotational without line, right? But here, similar figure. This is a parallelogram, but this is a rhombus. This would give me 2 lines of symmetry. Now I have 2 rotational symmetries, right? As soon as I have 4 lines of symmetry, I have 4 rotational symmetries, and so on. So notice the difference between the equilateral triangle and this shape like this. Okay, both of them have 3 rotational symmetries, but because if I fold on the line, these corners would match up, then it would have line symmetry as well. So if we stop looking at this and we go back to, stop getting in my way there. Where is it? Right here. We go back to this paper where we made some, this is a scan of what we did in class. So again, I was comparing and contrasting, like here again is a figure with 3 rotational symmetries, no line because of the way I made the flags go in only one direction, right? But here, as soon as I put some symmetry on either side, like it's basically the flag with the other half, now I have lines of rotation and, I'm sorry, not lines of rotation, lines of reflection and rotational symmetries. So on what I've asked you to do for the POW, all right, there are a couple problems that will say no solution. All right, so I hope you recognize those when it's impossible based on these rules, right? For example, if I said, draw me a figure that has 4 lines of symmetry, but 5 rotational symmetries, right? And so I said 4 lines, 5 rotational, 5R. I hope immediately you would say that's not possible, right? If it has 4 lines, it has 4 rotational. All right, so I hope none of you are spending hours trying to draw something that is not possible to draw. And then we know that as far as point symmetry, as long as you have 180-degree rotational symmetry, you have point symmetry. If we looked at some of our letters of the alphabet, like N, S, and Z, right? Like those are some letters of the alphabet that I can turn upside down, right? They would have point symmetry, but no line symmetry. I also could take, though, the letter H or the letter I. I'm trying to think if there's other ones. I'm running through the alphabet in my head right now. Oh, yeah, the letter X. I knew there was one more, right? Here I have line symmetry, 2 lines of symmetry, and also rotational symmetry of 180, which means I have point symmetry. Okay, so to have point symmetry, you could have point symmetry with line symmetry. You could have point symmetry without line symmetry. Okay, so that's something else that you should note. So please take the time to check over and study a little bit of your the symmetries on that April 14th handout. And this should help you as you prepare to do week 10 POW. 2 more POWs left after this one. So we're in the home stretch on those. So thanks for watching.